Good evening. This is Luke Thomas Holmquist here at the Earthquake Forecast Center. It is Thursday evening on July 29th, 8:54 in the evening. Thursday, July 29th at 8:54 in the evening. Let's take a look at the that quake that happened up in Alaska. First 8.2 earthquake, and it was about 500 miles southwest of Anchorage, and you can see it was felt across a huge area there of the peninsula of Alaska. And we'll start with our Alaska forecast. Our Alaska forecast had a peak in risk from the 28th into the 29th here. This 8.2 happened 6Z, so you take 8 hours from that. It was about 10 in the evening on the 28th, I guess. So late on the 28th. We had a peak in risk in Anchorage, and of course that was a long ways from Anchorage. It's about 500 miles to the southwest of Anchorage. However, the risk was significant in Anchorage as well. This risk is coming up at 5 in the morning on August 2nd for Anchorage. The spike in risk is at 100% on August 2nd at 5 in the morning. So we should get a significant earthquake in the Anchorage area on August 2nd at about 5 in the morning. And let's take a look at Bakersfield, California. We had a quake to the northwest, I believe it was. Let's see, California. And here's Bakersfield right here. And this was to the northwest of Bakersfield at 3.4. And you can see that right here. It happened in the morning of the 28th. And that's when this quake here happened, was at about 8 in the morning on the 28th. And that was about the same time this peak is here on Bakersfield. 50% risk on tomorrow, the 30th, at around 10 p.m. Small risk at about 10 p.m. on the 30th. And a very strong risk at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on August 1st. The risk goes up to 100% in the Bakersfield area. So we'll keep an eye on that for California. It looks like the risk is spiking across many cities. We'll take a look at Coalinga next, which is near Parkfield in west central California. That also has a strong peak on August 1st as well. And that one was at 7 p.m. The one in Bakersfield was at 1 p.m. So 7 p.m. in Coalinga Parkfield area. There's a spike in risk there. This was very close to the Coalinga earthquake, or the quake right there. See, Coalinga was just to the north of that. There's Coalinga, there's the 3.4. Originally posted as 3.5. And there was that peak in risk right there about 8 o'clock in the morning. I guess our forecast here for that day was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and the quake hit at about 8 o'clock in the morning. So our next risk for Coalinga is about 7 p.m. on August 1st. All right, we go down to the Salton Sea area, Palm Springs and the Salton Sea and El Centro area. We had a spike in risk late on the 27th, and there was a 4.2 in the Gulf of California in the El Centro area. And then we had the spike in risk at 10 o'clock in the morning on the 29th. And I don't believe that triggered anything down there. I don't see anything here. We have this smaller quakes here, but nothing significant. So now the next peak in the El Centro Salton Sea area is on August 1st at about 9 o'clock in the morning, 71% risk then. Eureka, California. We have a spike in risk at 4 o'clock tomorrow on July 30th, 96% risk there, as the risk is very high from the 30th at around 4 p.m. Through the morning at about 2 or 3 in the morning there on the 31st. So the afternoon of tomorrow, the 30th, Friday, looking for 96% risk in the Eureka area of Northwest California, and a smaller spike in risk at 58% late on August 1st. Over in Hawaii, we have a spike in risk late on July 30th. And you can check these out at quakeprediction.com. The next risk map or graph is Los Angeles. And you can see here we had a spike in risk at 10 o'clock in the morning on the 28th. And this 3.4 right here, northwest of LA, was at 3.4, originally at 3.5, and that was at 8 o'clock in the morning. Our risk was for 10 o'clock in the morning, so we were very close on that, 3.4. The next spike in risk in Los Angeles is 9 o'clock in the evening on August 1st, 69% risk. So the risk is higher up in Bakersfield at 100% risk on August 1st, and 69% at 9 p.m. in Los Angeles. In Reno, Nevada, we have a very high risk late on the 31st, no, early in the morning on the 31st, 5 o'clock in the morning in the Reno, Nevada area on July 31st. And then in Ridgecrest, in your current area, East Central California, there is that spike in risk there with a 3.4. And then we have a peak here on the morning of the 31st, but a stronger peak on the morning of August 1st at 96%. And then we have 100% risk on August 2nd in the morning of August 2nd. So the next most significant quake risk is at 6 o'clock in the morning on August 1st in the Ridgecrest area. Salt Lake City, Utah, a smaller peak here at 53% on tomorrow, the 30th in the morning at 6 in the morning, and then a much stronger peak here, 100% risk at 6 in the morning on July 31st. Salt Lake City. San Diego, we had that 3.4, which was the morning of the 28th. And now at 1 p.m. on August 1st, the risk goes up to 77% on August 1st. Looks like the greatest risk is up near Coalinga and Parkfield when it maxes out at 100%, I believe, in Coalinga, and in Bakersfield as well. And I think Ridgecrest was also peaking on August 1st as well. All right, in San Francisco, we had a 3.1 quake northwest of San Francisco on this spike in risk here on the 28th. And then in the morning of the 28th, on that peak, there's a 3.4 to the southeast of San Francisco. This one's coming up at 5 p.m. on tomorrow, the 30th, 58% risk there. And then very strong risk on August 1st and 9 o'clock in the evening on August 1st. The risk is rising all day on August 1st in San Francisco Bay. Santa Maria, which is northwest of Los Angeles, we had that peak here on the 28th when that 3.4 came through. And then we have a spike in risk at 11 in the morning on August 1st. So it looks like many of the cities across California, you can check yours at quakeprediction.com and pick out your city here. Many of the cities are saying a spike in risk during the day of August 1st. So you can check what time it's most likely for your city. All right, Santa Maria, now Seattle, Washington. Pretty quiet across the Seattle, Washington area right now. Athens, Greece, looking for a strong earthquake on the 30th, late on the 30th. So right now, I believe it's sometime early in the morning on the 30th right now in Athens, Greece. This quake, we should get it at least a 5.0 quake in the Athens area sometime in the evening, late in the evening at around 11 p.m. on the 30th. And then we also have some strong peaks here on the 31st. And then late on the 31st as well. So late on the 30th into the late on the 31st of July, looking for a strong earthquake 5.0 larger in Athens, Greece. Okay, we have a couple more to go, and that's in Japan. This is the Tokyo map right here. And then down here farther, we have a Sendai, which is in Miyagi, or the northeast portion of Japan. And both of them are pointing to a 5.0 larger quake. This one here in Tokyo says about 3 p.m. in the afternoon on July 31st. And the Sendai is saying early in the morning on August 1st. So between July 31st and August 1st, late in the day on the 31st and early in the morning on the August 1st, looking for a 5.0 earthquake in the Tokyo area. Once more in the Bakersfield to Coalinga to I think it's San Francisco as well. Yeah, San Francisco is very strong risk here on August 1st. So mark that on your calendars, looking for a significant earthquake in California on August 1st. Please check the graphs over at quakeprediction.com. We had a significant peak here late on the 28th, and that produced, well, the quake was 500 miles to the southwest. That was a strong earthquake southwest of Anchorage. Looking for a much more significant earthquake around the Anchorage area on August 2nd, about 5 in the morning. All right, thank you so much for joining us here at quakeprediction.com at the Earthquake Forecast Center. And our forecasts are getting better every day. This method that we're using now is able to pinpoint the timing and location pretty significantly. The magnitude is something we're working on as well, and we will be working on that in the upcoming days. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. And we will talk to you hopefully tomorrow. Thank you so much and have a nice evening. Thank you.